If you ever thought you messed up here, yeah, no, it's not that bad anymore. Alright, so welcome back everybody here. So today we're actually talking about this lovely system in here called clan battles. Now if you don't know what clan battles are, essentially these are little 4v4 team deathmatch type modes in which a 4-person group from one clan faces off another group from another clan, and these are all 4 players usually, and then you go in, battle it out, see who comes out on top, yay, you get rewards. But what's special about these 4v4 groups is that of course it's a 4v4 match type, but also the rewards you get from this are pretty unique. So once you actually get above bronze ranking here, you can see they get things like this uranium here if you're a very high ranking clan, but also if you're just above bronze in general, you actually get a decent chunk of reward called uranium. And you get about 1 uranium per win, which then scales up with depending on how high your ranking is and if you have premium time or not, because premium time doubles the reward you get from anything. Now, as you can see here, the price of uranium, it's pretty high. It's pretty high here. As you can see, 1 stack of 10 of this gets you nearly 290 coins on the PC marketplace, and if you're on console, this is probably absurdly higher. This is probably in the neighborhood of like 3,000 per 10 or something like that, if I had to guess. But the reason why this is supposed to be here, why uranium is supposed to be in this high-ranking clan, is because this is how you craft the fabulously pricey and pretty much the highest end weapons this game has to offer, because it actually requires a lot of uranium to make. So it's supposed to be incentive for competitive play here. You play a lot of these clan battles, you get uranium, then you can make these very expensive and precious weapons. Now you can see here, with all this money on the line, with all this grinding on the line, and the high competitive nature of this type of mode is usually ripe for abuse here. And there was actually a previous controversy a while back in which people would actually purposefully drop ranks within clan battles, like they would go from silver or gold down to bronze ranking, because the matchmaking was easier there. It was way easier to win more often, so therefore you'd get more and more uranium. I'm not sure what this is called. I'm pretty sure it was just colloquially called something like seal clubbing. But it was very common. In fact, people were blatant about it too. I remember watching a stream of Tree Burgers, who was a very popular content creator here on YouTube, who was purposely dropping rank during a live stream, battling down in bronze, and then boosting it back up at the end of the live stream. And it's just like, pretty questionable there, matey. But that type of behavior was condemned by the community, and eventually the developers actually took a hard stance on it and said that it was no longer allowed within the community, which I thought was kind of nice. The fact that no longer, it's getting abused, it's kind of nice. But what has happened now recently here, as showcased in this Reddit post, is a bit interesting, so let me go ahead and read this here. Survivors, based on messages from players, we've examined some clans play. It was found the majority of the players from the clans hate MYM, ADTM, abuse their matchmaking system of clan battle mode in order to gain an unfair advantage. By demonstrating such an unsportsmanlike behavior, they created obstacles for other players to play comfortably. Based on the information received and the examination carried out, the following measures have been taken. Clans hate MYM and ADTM have been disbanded. The accounts of 49 players were blocked from temporary to permanent here. So it seems that not only were the clans completely disabled and no longer be able to form, but now the players that actually comprise these clans are just straight up banned from the game here, which is a pretty hard line stance here. You have to remember, getting banned in Crossout generally means you have severely screwed up here. I mean severely. They do not hand out bans lightly here, unless you criticize them on the forums. No, I'm just kidding. But that is actually pretty interesting here. 3 clans here have been just straight up banned. And if you actually go to the Huts of leaderboards, which you actually may have been seeing here as I scrolled by, you can see there's actually been a couple of clans here that are just straight up removed. Now, according to people within the Reddit itself, the reason why they actually got banned was due to particular behavior. So theoretically, this high-ranking clan, something like Hate, would actually purposefully go onto alternative accounts increase the ranking of these accounts to a very high level so they could actually face them off in clan battles, because like I said, it's based on matchmaking, so you can only match with people of similar skill level. Generally, you won't face a team that's rated in diamond or gold if you're in tins or bronze or something like that. You generally have to be facing with someone within relatively your skill range. Now, they were getting around this by doing something pretty fishy. So these top tier clans would create Smurf accounts or alternative accounts. They would form a clan with them, and they'll get them up to very high ranking. And by doing so, they're able to face these clans, and then they would intentionally make that alternative clan, the clan that they were facing, lose, so then that would then give them score, because your score goes up every single time you win and goes down every time you lose. So if you automatically get free wins against this high-ranking clan, well, guess what? That gives you a more and higher score advantage here. And as you can see here, this worked out incredibly well for this top tier clan here, which I believe was Hate. And as you can see here, just from the top position to the number 9th position, there's over 100-point difference here. Even from 1 to 2, there is a 70-point difference here. That is insanely high. That is a commanding lead. And if you don't know, if you weren't here since the beginning of this game, that clan, Hate, has been the number 1 position pretty much throughout the entirety of the game since its launch. So the fact that the top tier clan was doing this for such a long time and it flew underneath the moderation radar of the developers and the admins is just beyond me. And that actually kind of makes sense too, because this is actually based on the fact that this is from messages, and those probably contain, you know, voice logs, text logs, videos, and pictures of them in the action. Because I'm assuming that's the only reason why there was any sort of moderation against these clans. But that is still pretty substantial here, and the fact that it was such a persistent issue for so long, it has almost seemed like it was tacitly endorsed by somebody. Because if there is a known issue throughout the community that is knowingly being abused at all points in time, and the moderators and the admins are very well aware of this, then it's in a way a tacit endorsement of it, because you're just turning a blind eye to it. But it seems that's also not the case nowadays, so I wonder if the amount of negativity this type of activity was generating was just starting to get to a boiling point for these developers here. So I could see why they'd potentially want to start quashing this type of behavior. As to whether or not they'll actually institute new moderation tools or new, very specific rules to actually combat this, it's still unknown as to whether or not that'll actually happen here. But the fact is, these clans were found to be cheating, abusing matchmaking system, and they were banned. Just straight up, no questions, nothing about it. They are pronto freaking gone! Still though, this won't make me go back into clan battles anytime soon. Because any of you who were around when I was actually doing clan battles with that one German clan for the longest time, it is not that fun of a mode for a lot of the times, because people's emotions and anger in that type of mode can run very high here. So I can't imagine how these top 10 clans feel when their clans are just completely just cut off the map. It's just, I can imagine some keyboards here being absolutely smashed, monitors getting absolutely fist pounded right now. But, you know, I think that's all I have to say here. Hopefully, the developers here actually improve their moderation of these top tier clan battles, because if that was just the top abuser of the system getting punished here, you know there's a bunch of smaller people abusing the system and still getting away with it here. Especially considering too, what if there's people who are just not using alternative accounts? Well, if it's just like, hey there, smaller clan here, what's up? We'll allow, we'll cycle in some people here and there if you agree to lose to us every time you face match against us. I guarantee you there are situations like that cropping up, and I wonder if that's actually being moderated too. Unlikely, but things to consider, but I think we'll call it good here. That's all I have to say here. So what do you guys think about this? This is a good step for Crossout to go in. Should the developers here be much more forward when it comes to moderation of clan battles here? And what's your experience with clan battles been? Other than that, guys, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.